Hey gang, welcome to an all-new Collection Expansion Extravaganza right here on ToyWorldOrder.com, starring me, Duvall, and my wife, Carrie Duvall. It's her. She's here.
Yep.
We are back, gang, with an all-new episode of fun stuff. Carrie sounds so enthused with her sigh.
I'm just overwhelmed. It's just...
Well, let's put it this way. When we were going to the corner where all this stuff is stored for future shows and gathering it, earlier this evening, she was laying on the floor with the dogs looking at these three piles of stuff that she bought at an auction earlier in 2014 of just massive amounts of Disney Snow White stuff, and she just bemoaned, where am I going to put all of this? And I just shook my head and went, I don't know what to tell you.
I like doing these episodes though, because a lot of this stuff I haven't seen in like 4 months, 5 months.
And we were going through a bag of stuff and she was like, oh my god, all this cute stuff in here.
I forget about it. So we bring it home, we put it in a room to do this show, and then we don't do it for... Some of this stuff is, I mean, this was from a church sale for over the summer. I mean, yeah. It's been months. It's been months and months since we, a lot of the stuff since we've had a chance to look at it. But yeah. When we get to look at it, it's fresh and new for us, just as it is for all of you sometimes. So yeah. That's awesome. Even though we bought it, yeah. Sometimes we're like, oh my god, I forgot I bought this. Well, let's start out. What do you got over here? Cute stuff. You got some pretty adorable stuff over here. Move all this.
Oh, okay.
We've bought these before. Then we've never really showed them off. But
we're trying to complete this collection a little bit at a time, and it's the Disney 100 Years of Magic.
We're doing pretty good.
Yep. And these were Disney Happy Meal toys, and there literally were 100 characters that were available during the 6 weeks of this program or something like. I think it was like 3 or 4. It was a number of characters a week until they got to 100. But they were all celebrating the 100 Years of Magic of Walt Disney's 100-year birthday. And there were a ton of them, and these were some we didn't have. We found Genie, and we found Jose Carioca, which is fun. That's Mowgli. Mowgli. Oh, God, I can't say it. Mowgli.
No.
Oh, I can't
Mowgli.
talk. I can't talk tonight. He's from the Jungle Book.
Whatever.
Mowgli.
Prince Charming.
Mowgli. Dear God. Simba from The Lion King, and Brer Rabbit. So
we have a sheet
that a dealer friend at the Toyman Toy Show gave us. Was kind enough to give us a printout of the collections of the figures, so we've been able to take that and mark them off with us.
We just keep it with us, and anytime I see one of these for like a quarter, because I don't usually pay more than a quarter for these, we mark it off, and sometimes we still end up with extras, but...
We were putting a bunch away the other night, and I'm like, oh, well, here's 4 that we have that we just bought, apparently, because for some reason we didn't mark them off somehow, so...
But I think we have... What do you think? We have at least half.
We've got pretty close to half. We've probably got close to 50 of them, so... we've got a long ways to go, but some people would take the easy route and just buy them all in one fell swoop on eBay. But
that's not fun for me. No. I like digging for them and finding them, and
we like to stumble across them at shows and at flea markets and stuff and go.
Or people have them at yard sales in like a big tote of stuff,
which is pretty awesome. So those are always fun to find. So those are 6 more to add to our collection there. You'll put them in your lap there.
Yeah, let's do that.
Now these are pretty cool, and I don't remember the company that made these.
No, they came in They were in a box, and we must have opened them, and then they were in package.
They were in a package, and I think the package was beat up, and we were going to open them anyway. But these are they're supposed to be posable. They kind of are, but they're these flocked Looney Tunes characters dressed in Wild West garb, which is really weird. But Bugs and Daffy came together, and they have little accessories, like Daffy's got the little Indian chief headband that goes on with the little feathers behind him here, and then Bugs is wearing the little vest. Cute little collectibles though, but we were just like, well, those are really odd. I believe Ilco or something like that, some company like that made these in the 80s. In the late 80s, early 90s is when these came out. But something fun that Carrie didn't have that we add to our little Looney Tunes collection. So since they're flocked and fuzzed, they collect hair like nobody's business.
Yeah, some down here.
Yeah. This is pretty cute. Little baby Big Bird trapeze artist. That's all right. It's supposed to be like that because when you squeeze the arms, I think you can make Big Bird do tricks. And by squeezing one or the other side, he'll either go forward or backwards over it, and then you can make him stand up straight.
Fall down on his face.
Fall down on his face. This would have been. We've got some of these from the early '80s. We've got a Goofy and a Mickey. I believe we got the Donald of this. We've got a Smurfs one that's like this. These were really popular in the '70s and '80s. This probably was closer to late '80s, early '90s when this one came out. So he's pretty cute though. He's just something to add to our collection of Sesame Street items for Muppet stuff. So it's pretty neat. This little guy is from the Get Along Gang, and this was I love it. The Get Along Gang. They all had skates. I don't remember if they all wore skates in the show a lot, but they did travel on skates. The large scale stuffed animals of these all came with skates, so they had little removable kid skates they could wear. But this is Monty Moose from Get Along Gang, and he's a little. His little arms here can clip onto stuff, so you can put him on a bag or put him on your shirt, or
maybe like your book bag or something.
Yeah, you can put him on your book bag or attach him to a coat like that, and he'll stay in place pretty good. He holds on pretty well, and these were, they still make a lot of these today, but to find Get Along Gang ones like this are pretty cool. And this was pretty cute. This was would have been '84. I'm not sure who Amtoy made these in '84. And I believe he was on a package. He was on a card when we bought him, and the card was just so beat up and falling apart. We just opened him because he's going to get displayed anyway. So, little Monty Moose from Get Along Gang. It's pretty cute.
We have so much stuff.
We have quite a bit of cute stuff here. Is this the only Get Along Gang card? I thought we had another one down there.
We have another one that we bought a long time ago.
Oh, that's right, that we replaced. This is Shirt Tales. They did a bunch of these. Who made these? These were Earl. In the early 80s. In 81, they did a bunch of Shirt Tales cars. And this, while the car itself is beat up for Tig here, the sticker is still on it, which the Shirt Tales, they all had the little stickers for their tags on the front of their cars. And Tig himself is in really good shape. So even though the car's got some paint wear on it from just display and play, it's still pretty complete. We had a couple of these that didn't have the stickers, and we found like 3 of these. 2 of which we had, but the 2 we found had stickers on them, so we replaced those with the old ones, and this one will go in the section 2. So little Shirt Tales cards, pretty cool. And Carrie's got a couple of little Disney stuff here. This was another one of the little Kellogg head bobbers. Was Minnie that we didn't have. We actually didn't have a Minnie. We've got 2 different Goofies and a Mickey, and I believe a Pluto and a Donald, but we didn't have Minnie. So we got a little head bobber Minnie there. She's pretty cute.
Just a little Mickey Mouse, that's all.
It's a little Mickey in a nightgown. He's a little nightgown, a nightcap. He's got his little candle. He's walking through the house at night to make sure that everything's, cozy. Or he's heading to bed, which makes me yawn. I'm ready for bed now. Looking at him, I'm ready for bed.
But it's just a cute little thing that I like to pick up.
Yeah, cute little PVC we didn't have. And then these are vintage buttons from the early '80s. And they're vintage Smurf buttons with some original Peyo artwork on it, like Smurfette, where her button says the answer is no, and she's storming away.
Want to Smurf around?
This one is TGIF. Thank God it's Friday.
This one says, Smurf, your true blue friend.
So these were pretty cool. These we found at the Third Sunday Marketplace. And I think they were like 2 for $1. And we found, we got
She had a whole bunch of them. I tried to find one of each.
Yeah, one of each of the different ones. But now we still are trying to find a good way to display buttons.
Yeah, I don't know why we keep buying this stuff that we don't know how to...
Yeah, we don't know how to display properly. But for these, for the way they were, Carrie found them and we bought them just because, for anything, mostly because they're Smurfs, and that Smurfette is super cute. She's all grumpy and storming away. It looks like a familiar pose around here.
So is that one.
Oh yeah, me being lazy. Think that's Friday. And then let's take a look at him. We've got this. Actually came from Captain EO, and this is one of the original stuffed toys from the Michael Jackson, Walt
I
Disney
remember when
World,
you picked
Disneyland,
that up.
Captain EO line. I don't remember what his name, Nibbler, I think his
When
name
you
is.
picked it up, I remember I had to ask you, what in the heck is that?
Yeah, this is from Captain EO. This is one of the original plush animals that you could buy at the park. Right as soon as you got out of the attraction, you walk into a gift shop and they sold little plush figures and characters from that. And this is one of the originals from Captain EO on
Kind of cute.
which had returned to Disneyland and Disney World. I believe maybe just
We
Disneyland.
we saw it when
we
we
saw it
went.
when we went to Disneyland the last time we went, but it came back
No.
when Michael Jackson unfortunately passed away. They brought it back originally to show his kids because his kids had never seen it in that environment. And then they decided, well, let's see if the public wants to see it. And it stuck around for years. I mean, a number of years.
I didn't really like it.
And it's not great. It doesn't hold up that well. It really doesn't.
We saw it at Disney World, right?
Yes,
You
yes,
said, like,
yeah.
And I didn't.
Yeah, Carrie didn't enjoy it.
You
but-
wanted to see it, and that was fine. It was a good
I
way
did.
to just sit down and relax for
Yeah.
20 minutes or so.
And we got a couple other cute little things here. This actually comes from a Walt Disney World on Ice. And of course, it is Ariel's little buddy Flounder. And this actually had a snow cone in it at one point. So they would fill this up with a snow cone and the kids would eat it. And then they could take this little cup home that they could take and put ice cream in or drink milk out of or something. But little Flounder head, it was cleaned up. I cleaned up most of him. There's a couple spots on him I couldn't get cleaned up. But he was pretty dirty when we had him too. And his tag's still on him, which worries me. That means he's probably never been washed.
Well, we're not going to drink out of them.
No, we're not going to drink out of him. He's going to go on the shelf with all my other Little Mermaid stuff. And
Well,
he
good
might
luck finding a place.
he might have to display some of it, so some of it may have to stick
Yeah,
out of
I
his
was gonna
head
say.
because it's getting full in there. I'm going to have to put up some new shelves or something in there sometime soon. And then these, Carrie talked about these came from a little church sale earlier in the summer, and these are kind of cute. These are little baby plates, little preschool baby plates, but they're Disney baby plates. So this one is
It's like the
numbers and
alphabets.
letters, and
This just
this one
looks like
is
different-
vehicles and farms and buildings and stuff. So, but all featuring characters from the
Do you want to
Disney.
eat dinner on these tonight?
No, I'm good. Although we probably should because we're always looking for a section of plates
I
to
know.
eat stuff. So.
Well, you don't like your food touching.
I don't. I'm weird like that. I don't like my food touching. These are cute though. These are really cute. I think they were $1 for the pair, so
Yeah.
I can't really beat that. But they, of course, they stack together real nice and neat, and makes a nice little section. These actually are pretty cool. These are Popples, little kids from Daikia Plastic, little Popples kids mug. It's a little warped. It looks like it's got a little hot and it's got a little melted there at the top, but the graphics are still really nice. And then the Get Some Good Times Going Popples bowl here. So that's some pretty cute stuff. There's the Popple stuff. I love the Popple stuff. I love Popples in period. It's a nice little collection of stuff. See? Now we've got a calendar which is different for us. But this calendar is not so much different for us in the fact that it's the Miss Piggy CoverGirl Fantasy Calendar from 1981. We found this at an antique store.
I mean, look.
It's beautiful. It's amazing. It's an amazing thing. And we've seen it several times. And we always passed on it because it was $10. And we're like, ugh, it's neat, but it's $10. And of course, you know, we won't lie. We're cheapskates at times when it comes to stuff we find out in the wild because, well...
That's kind of neat. May. Hey now! Well, every time we go in there, we'd see it.
Yes.
And we always passed on it. And then the last time we went in there, I was like, let's just get it.
Let's just buy it.
The one time we're going to come in here and not see it, and I'm going to be upset.
Yes.
I'm going to be like, oh, we should have bought that one.
So we went ahead and bought it, and then when we got home and we started looking at it, we're like, well, we're glad we bought this because it's hysterical.
It's just funny. Like, here she is on the cover of
Cosmopolitan, yes. Which basically it's picking on the cover of a lot of these classic
right
magazines and stuff, which is kind of funny. Omni, yeah. So
the astronaut.
it's a beautiful, beautiful collector's piece. I mean, it's still in great condition. I love the front of it. Shows you it's got a shipping label on it for Kermit the Frog, so it's like Kermit got this at his house. And it's pretty. The Saturday Evening Post is December in '81, so it's pretty darn cute for a collector piece like this for classic Muppet photos and you know collector pieces. So that was pretty neat. I love the cover Miss Piggy CoverGirl Fantasy Calendar. It just cracks me up that they did that. And then this actually is an amazing magazine from winter 1964, and it's called Vacation Land, and it was actually published by Disneyland. Disneyland actually published this, and the fact that this basically was published to show showcase all there is to do in Anaheim. And I mean, there's there's stuff in like, there's original inserts in here from Melody Land Theater in Anaheim, I believe. Yep, Melody Land Theater, when the Smother Brothers were going to be there, and Jimmy Durante. Jimmy Durante. Yeah, a few of the things. I mean, the pictures in here for this magazine are pretty stunning. I mean, there's some great articles and some great stuff to do in Anaheim. There's some great ads and such.
I love the prices on these. $2.
Oh, for the tickets? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, there of course, being published by Disneyland. The fact that, you know, Disney at the time was very helpful in a lot of these other locales in Anaheim, because, you know, it wasn't just Disney. They wanted everyone else to succeed. But there's an article, there's a little ad in the back of it for Knott's Berry Farm, which is still in existence today, which is pretty cool. So I love that we found that, and it still has the original like inserts in here for certain things, and like shows you dining directories for like in San Diego and San Simeon and Tulare and all these other places. It's a really neat.
I'll put it up.
Okay, it's a really neat magazine for the era. It's really cool to see. And I don't remember where we found that actually.
I don't know. Can't remember.
It's one of those items that we were like, where did this come from? These we've had for a long time, and they're just kind of getting pushed
like
around.
Last summer, I think.
Since 2013, and these are just these great framed pictures of a Little Mermaid. So we've got Ariel with all her undersea friends, and then Ariel and her sisters and her father, which are pretty cool. And these
we got these at an auction.
We get these at an auction a long time ago, like summer 2013 is when we picked these up, and they're pretty amazing pictures.
I like these a lot. I like the framing.
Yeah, I like the framing and the pictures. They're really nice. But somebody just took the prints that they bought from like the Disney store and put them in these really nice black frames, and they work really well. So these are going to get hung in the Little Mermaid room, in the collection room somewhere. Yeah. So they're pretty darn neat. I like those a lot. I got a couple puzzles here, and then we got action figures to round out this episode.
Sit back and relax.
A couple puzzles here. I got this one. I have yet to put this together, and I need to, just because I want to put it together. But there's so much black and so much like just blah colors. But it's it's a movie poster size, which actually it's 18 and 15/16 by 26 3/4. So 41.8 centimeters, and you know, it's a big poster. But it's the movie poster for the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles live-action film from 1989. I love this. I used to have this poster hanging in my room when this movie came out, and the look of these masks are not what the movie masks look like, because these were like pre-production masks they used to make this poster. As they do not look like that in the movie.
What do they look like?
They don't look quite like that. Those might have been stunt masks they used at one point.
They look exactly the same.
I think they're a little. I'll show you.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but they look to me like they look like the masks.
They are not what the final look of the costumes look like. So, but this was the poster that came out that said, "Hey, dude, this is no cartoon." That advertised the movie. It
says lean green and on the screen everywhere. That's cute.
Yep, it was everyone's first look at the movie Turtles before the trailer hit. And back then there was no internet or anything, so you would go to a movie and then see all these posters and be like, oh, when is that coming out? So
we still do that.
Oh yeah.
We'll be at a movie and I'll be like, oh, I haven't seen the trailer for that yet.
Yeah, Carrie will be like, what's that? And this actually, I did put it together. It is complete, and I love the artwork on this. It's a 200-piece puzzle for the Defenders of the Earth toy line, which I have sitting right behind me on my right shoulder here. But the Defenders of the Earth stuff, I love this toy line, and it was a very short-lived cartoon that I do have on DVD, but the puzzles are beautiful. The artwork on these old puzzles are just really gorgeous, really, really cool. And I did put it together to see if it was all there, and it was there, so it's pretty darn neat. Some action figures to round out this show. No board games this show, but some action figures that were kind of cool. This actually I found at my buddy BG's house. I was going through some stuff, helping him ID some figures, and I ran across this and was like, oh my god.
What is it?
Well, you'll know when I tell you.
Wait,
this. Carrie's got to look at the face.
Wait a minute, I think I know. Yeah. I think I already know. Is this Joe from Full House?
Yep. This is Dave Coulier. Dave Coulier's character from Full House. I believe these were made by Tyco, and they made sets. So you could get the whole Tinker family as well as Uncle Joey and all that. But they made these Full House characters in these doll forms. So they made they made Michelle, they made the girls, and they made all the characters. And they move at the arms and the waist there. They can move. They came with accessories like a baby carriage and a phone and stuff like that. Just silly stuff. But I saw that and was like, what do you want for that? And he's like, I don't even know what it is. You can have it. I was like, I'm taking it because that's just too darn cool. It's a darn Dave Coulier figure. I mean, who wouldn't want one of those? It's cut it out. Some people will get that.
I get it.
Yeah. Love that. I love that I found that. It's just too darn neat. This is actually a toy from the, I want to say he's 67. Yes, Mattel by 60. It was Mattel in 67. He's missing a few things. He had a helmet. He had some feet things that went on it, and he had a little laser that went in here, and he does not work. I did put batteries in him. He does not work.
What is it?
This is a character called Captain Laser. And it was...
That's very,
Yeah, well, it's not an original name. It's not, I found him on the Spoon River. There's a lady that we go to every year in one of the towns we stop in, and she has just got the junkiest stuff you could ever imagine. I mean, it's disgusting. Like, it's like they pull it out of the garage. It's been sitting in and just throw it on a table, and it's just like, oh. But she had this. I paid $5 for it. And he was really dirty, and I managed to clean him up a lot, but his legs are a little faded, but you can kind of see that they molded his body in this kind of sparkly, like this glitter inside of, or is built into the plastic that they molded him from. But he originally, his eyes lit up, his chest lit up, his little gun would light up by pressing the buttons here. But unfortunately, the battery pack, there's no way for me to remove it to try to fix the innards or replace the light.
Shoe?
He does have, somebody did melt his front toe a little bit, but for the time this came out, it had some, it's had some pretty nifty articulation for the time.
Oh my gosh.
He's a big figure in the fact that, he could stand, like, there's not a lot of toys from that era.
That might be how you have to pose him. The shelves are not that tall.
He's a big toy, and I do wish that I could find his helmet and his little boot things, but he's a cool thing just to have. It's not something that I ever thought I would buy. I used to see him at toy shows all the time, and people want ridiculous amounts of money for this figure. And it's not something I would have collected had I not found him at a yard sale for $5 and been like, I can clean him up and make a nice little display piece. So neat little figure from the 60s. This actually is something we found in a antique store in St. Louis, and a guy had this displayed with a bunch of Fisher-Price Little People stuff and had it marked Fisher-Price Dragon. Of course, this is, for people who know, this is not a Fisher-Price Dragon at all. Farthest from it. Even Carrie went, I don't even know that. What is that? This is actually one of the two ride-on beasts from the line Supernaturals. They made a lion and they made a dragon. The lion for the good guys, the dragon for the bad guys.
I remember you were like, let me look this up, and you were looking on your phone. I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I know what this is, but I need to double check. And he was like, I think they wanted $5 for him, and I was like, I'm going to buy him for $5. Now, he's missing stuff. He had wings.
Gee, go figure.
Well, they're hard to find, period, which is why I bought him anyway.
He's missing stuff. He's missing stuff.
Well, I'll tell you a story after I explain this, but he's missing his wings. He had a little handle part here that the figures could hold him to, and he has a headdress that goes over and it has a hologram in it. But you could
the Supernaturals.
Right, but the figures will fit on him, and he could hold the figures into battle. And he's a fine display piece for my Supernatural figures. I don't care if he's not complete. This toy alone, trying to find it, usually sells in this condition for like $40 or $50.
Awesome, eBay.
We're not eBaying him.
Oh, boo. I need $40 or $50.
Now, my story to this is one of the first Toyman shows that Danny and I and Scotty Cash went to years ago. A dealer had both of these figures on his table, and they were complete, and he wanted $10 for the pair.
That was terrible.
And I regret not buying them then, because Danny was like, I kind of like those.
That would have been what you would have, $5 a piece. That's what you paid.
Yep, pretty much. So, but to have them complete, they had the wings and everything, and they look good on Pixel Dan's shelf. Wish they'd look good on mine.
He has two of them.
But he has the pair. He has the dragon and the lion.
Oh.
So, kind of cool though.
Well, you know what you should do? Next time you go over there, take that with you.
And swap them?
Yeah, see if he notices.
I'm sure he'll notice. Last but not least, I got some Rambo figures. I've got a Firepower Rambo who is not complete, but I think he came out of a lot of stuff from an estate sale that we bought that had a bunch of action figures in it, and I kept Firepower Rambo. One of these days, I'll find a complete Firepower Rambo at a toy show for $5, and I'll replace this one. Just because He had a neat backpack.
No, I hate that. Why buy something if you're just going to turn around and buy it again later?
Well, I don't know. It just depends. He came with a lot of stuff we already bought, so I kept him.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
So I didn't actually just go out of my way to buy him. He was in a lot of stuff, and I was like, I don't have that figure. I'm going to keep him. And eventually I'll find one that's complete, and I'll keep him, and I'll sell this one. But you can tell he was from that because feel his boots, they're all sticky.
Everything in that lot was
everything
sticky.
in that lot was sticky and nasty. So the Firepower Rambo, and then I found an original Rambo figure. All he's missing is...
I'm sorry, I gotta go back to this. I love how his veins are in his arms.
Yes, they designed all these veins. But I found the first initial Rambo figure they released in that line, and he had a knife that he came with, but he doesn't have his knife, and that's fine. But he's complete other than the knife. He's got his two little T-blades. No, that's the wrong knife for Rambo. But his rocket launcher unfortunately was broke, and I tried to fix it, but it would not fix. So he holds his rocket launcher like this, and you used to be able to pull the string back and launch the rocket, but it was broke, and I couldn't get the string back in there to fix it. So I just wrapped it around and tied it, and this is how it stays now. But a nice little display piece, and the fact that he has this little if I can get it off the table. Looks like somebody ate the bottom of it, but he has this little card. His little the characters came with these little cards, and they tell you on the back everything he came with. So he's just missing his knife, his big survival knife that he had. So pretty much complete Rambo, which is fine. And then I found a Sergeant Havoc, who is, I believe, just missing a small gun. Yes, because this gun is his. And Sergeant Havoc is...
Whose grenade is that?
That goes to Firepower Rambo.
Oh.
Sergeant Havoc is he's one of the villains, but he also had his card, his little card with his ID there on there, and shows you that he comes with the anti-tank weapon. He comes with an AK-47, the pistol, which he's missing, and he has his machete, which is actually back here, as well as a pair of binoculars. Sergeant Havoc came with a pair of binoculars, but this is what the rocket launcher would do, because Sergeant Havoc's is this way. You see, you pulling the string back here, and it would fire the missile out like it was a rocket. So you could fire it at one of the hero figures and knock them over. See? Pretty neat. A number of the Rambo figures had that feature, and then later they had motorized mechanical backpacks and whatnot. So the early releases had these spring-loaded weapons, which are kind of cool. So a few Rambo figures I didn't have that are going to go into my display that I have of the Rambo figures with the little playset and everything. So it's pretty cool. Well, there you go, guys. That's going to wrap it up for us on this episode of Collection Expansion Extravaganza.
I was trying to put this.
We'll be back real soon with an all-new episode. Make sure you subscribe to us if you haven't yet. YouTube.com/ToyWorldOrder. Hit subscribe. It helps us out greatly. As well as go to Board, the YouTube show. YouTube.com/Board the show, which is where all the shenanigans of the crazy board show that we do in conjunction with Pixel-Dan.com happens. Every new season we are able to produce, as well as go to ToyWorldOrder.com. You can hear all the podcasts for David Evolves Toys and Collectibles, as well as Married to the Collection when we're going in the spring and summer for Carrie and I and our shenanigans on the road. So make sure you check that out, gang. Carrie and I'll be back real soon. I can't talk, so we're done for the night. And gang, keep digging because you never quite know what you're going to find. Take care.